You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program.
Welcome back to the second hour of our program. The big news, well, actually, there's a lot of big news. I want to get to President Obama's speech as well in a short while. But the immediate big news is Detroit just went down in flames, courtesy of, frankly, in my opinion, courtesy of 30 years of Reaganomics and, shipping our jobs overseas and offshoring our jobs and not protecting our domestic economy, including and in particular our auto industry. But we can get into that another time. But it finally has reached an apotheosis, or however you say that word, a peak, in that the city of Detroit is filing for Chapter 9 bankruptcy. So I wanted to get on somebody who really knows what's going on the ground there, who has been one of our great resources for all things Michigan, and particularly what's going on in Detroit here. Pastor D. Alexander Bullock, the founder and national spokesperson for the Change Agent Consortium, which you can find over at facebook.com/Action CAC, as in Change Agent Consortium, Action CAC. Reverend Bullock, or Pastor Bullock, welcome back to the program.
Tom, thank you so much for having me back. Good to be here.
It is always an honor and a pleasure to have you on our air, sir. So tell us what's going on in Detroit.
I tell you what, it is chaos. It is almost unbelievable. This weekend, I was floored by the not guilty verdict in the Trayvon Martin case. And I haven't even made it through the week before I'm floored again by Kevin Orr and Governor Rick Snyder filing for Chapter 9 bankruptcy in the city of Detroit. Now, remember, this is the same governor who's on record saying bankruptcy would never work for Michigan cities. He would not stand behind the filing for bankruptcy. And, of course, he lied, and we're headed that way. Now, why did this happen? One of the reasons why this happened is because on Monday, the pension board, suing emergency manager Kevin Orr, had a case that was going to be heard, and that case was going to deal with whether or not retirees' pensions can be altered or modified, and what can be done with their health care benefits. And a judge was going to decide on whether or not Kevin Orr had any power over that unsecured debt to touch those pensions. And so we believe that this is a kind of preemptive chess move to file for bankruptcy to stop the ability of the pension board to have that case heard on Monday.
Wow.
And so just a continued...
So let me get this right. They were planning on stealing the pensions and health benefits of Detroit's retirees, money that these people paid into this system throughout their working lives so that when they retired, there would be something available to them. And Kevin Orr and Rick Snyder, the governor of Michigan, the Republicans in Michigan, were fixing to lay their hands on this money. And you took on the good people of Detroit were taking them to court, and so to avoid having to defend that or possibly even losing the ability to lay their hands on that money, instead they're going to declare bankruptcy and through bankruptcy tell all the pensioners in Detroit, sorry, tough luck, you're screwed.
Exactly right. So they file for bankruptcy, which potentially blocks the case being heard Monday, and then under bankruptcy, all of the unsecured debt is on the table. Well, what's that? Pensions. So,
yeah.
And then today they announced that who do they want to lead the charge and shepherd the city of Detroit through the bankruptcy process? That's right. You guessed it. Emergency manager Kevin Orr.
Right.
And so this is what's going on in Detroit. We've been in a whirlwind of confusion and of complexity the last 24 hours.
So the governor said that preventing bankruptcy in Detroit was such a high priority and was so important that he was willing to end democracy in Detroit. He was willing to fire all the elected officials or strip them of all their elected authority and power, all their constitutional power, all their power by virtue of the incorporations of the various townships and counties and whatnot, especially with regard to Detroit in this case. He was willing to do that, end democracy in Detroit, in order to avoid bankruptcy. And then as soon as he tries to get his grubby little fingers on the pension funds and the health care funds for retired workers, and you guys say, hey, wait a minute, he says, oh, yeah, bankruptcy, cool, we're going to do that because we can take that money that way.
Exactly, right? His tune has always been, bankruptcy is bad for the city. I don't believe in bankruptcy. We're not headed that way. Then all of a sudden, when the plan changes, when the pension board sues the emergency manager, all of a sudden bankruptcy becomes a viable option. Now, when the insurance company sued, they worked out a deal. They negotiated. Right. So when the casinos began to challenge what the emergency manager was saying, they negotiated. They worked out a deal. So
but those are big corporations. They aren't average working people.
That's right. This is an attack on average working people, on retirees, on their health care benefits, on citizens in the city of Detroit. And I believe now Detroit takes center stage, and now the question becomes, will the United States of America be a place where the sanctity of contracts, where the promises made to retirees with respect to their pensions and health care benefits will be honored? Or has the United States become a country where big business interest now is going to be able to go in and, much like tomb robbers raid sacred tombs, go in and raid retirees' pensions and health care benefits? This is a critical time, not just for Detroit, but for the nation.
Now, I did see one headline that said that a judge had paused or halted this bankruptcy proceeding. Do I have that right, or was it a partial thing, or was it just a speculation? What's going on with that?
Oh, that's right. Recent breaking news: a judge has issued an opinion that the filing for bankruptcy was unconstitutional according to the Michigan State Constitution. It has then asked the governor to tell emergency manager Kevin Orr to cease and desist and stop. Of course, the governor cannot be held in contempt for not obeying that order, in which case it doesn't really have much teeth. But at least you have a judge making, putting an opinion out there and making the right judgment. But again, this tug of war that we're involved in now, I think, has ramifications far beyond the city of Detroit.
I absolutely agree. I mean, you end democracy anywhere in the United States, and you have the potential to end democracy everywhere in the United States. It's incredible. We're talking with the Pastor D. Alexander Bullock, the founder and national spokesperson of the Change Agent Consortium, Facebook.com/ActionCAC. What can people who are watching or listening right now do to help you all out, basically? If they're not in Detroit, or if they are in Detroit, what should they do? And if they're not in Detroit, what can they do to help out? We have just a minute here, sir.
Great question. Go to the Facebook page, please, actioncac.org. That's the website, actioncac.org. Facebook, it's Action CAC, Change Agent Consortium. One, get informed. Go to the website and sign up. Join the database. We got a lot of information coming out. But also get connected, because we're going to be calling on folks from around the country to come to Detroit. We need to occupy Detroit. We're going to have to up the ante and really demonstrate and let Governor Snyder and Kevin Orr know that we're not going away, but that we're going to fight for the livelihood of the retirees, the working people, and the citizens of the city. And so when we make that call, Tom, we're going to need folks from around the nation to come to Detroit and stand with us. So
you have a website that's actioncac.org as well.
That's right.
I did not have that on my notes. My apologies for that. So actioncac.org or facebook.com/actioncac. Pastor D. Alexander Bullock, sir, you are always, it's inspiring, the energy and passion and activism that you are bringing to these issues, a voice of truth. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being with us. And get thee over to actioncac.org. We'll be right back.